Let's just run through the team and strength and expectation for each one. So if we start with Ben.
Yeah, I suppose that, you know, Ben is, if you like, he is kind of the leader of the sailing team, if you like, without actually being nominated as the leader of the sailing team. I mean, he is just an incredible sailor, particularly in the Olympic environment. He has an ability to really raise his game when it matters most. Ruthless competitor on the water. You know, lovely guy off the water. Got an incredible track record in terms of both medals won and you know, coming into the games on great form, having completely dominated the Finn Gold Cup, which is their World Championships earlier this month. You know, he scored 7 firsts and 2 thirds in that series. I mean, just an incredible performance. And so goes in, and there's no doubt that everybody else in the Finn fleet considers that they're racing for second place.
Paul
Goodison in the laser. He, you know, he's going into this games as the current gold medalist. The laser is an incredibly competitive fleet, and he didn't have such a good World Championships this year. He fell foul of the jury on a few occasions, but I think that at the end of this event, he will be, the gold medal will be between him and Tom Slingsby, in my opinion. And I think that if Paul sails as well as he knows he can, then there's no reason why he can't win back-to-back gold medals.
Wonderful. So Luke Patience and Stuart Bithell in the 470.
So Luke and Stuart in the 470 men, first-time Olympians. They've medalled at the last 2 World Championships, 2 silver medals. They are a young and developing team, full of enthusiasm and excitement. And of course, their biggest challenge will be just to make sure that they can manage all that excitement and channel their energies into delivering their best performance, the performance that they do when they're at any other major regatta. And if they do that, then they will be competing for a medal. Interestingly, again, probably their major competition is going to come from Australia. If it's a windy week, then they will be the fastest boat on, you know, the British team. Luke and Stuart will be the fastest team on the water, without a shadow of a doubt. And if it's a lighter, moderate week, then there'll be more of a race on with the Australians.
Great. Ian and Andrew.
So Ian Percy, Andrew Simpson in the star class, current gold medalists, silver medal at the World Championships earlier this spring, in what is an incredibly competitive class. You know, I always enjoy watching the star racing because every single person that's racing in the star has either won an Olympic medal, has won World Championships, is involved in the America's Cup or the Volvo Ocean Race. So, you know, I mean, these are real top sailors in our sport. It's a test of technical, tactical, and physical, and they will not be satisfied with anything other than the gold medal, and that's what they're going there for. They are on good form, and they will be battling with a Brazilian, Robert Scheidt, and I think it will be a great regatta to watch. But they will definitely come away with a medal, in my opinion, and if everything goes to plan, then it will be the gold one.
Brilliant. Hannah and Saskia.
Well, Hannah and Saskia have just returned from Barcelona as Britain's first ever 470 women's world champions. So that obviously will give them a huge boost in motivation going into the Olympic Games. They have only missed out on being on the podium in 2 of the regattas that they have ever competed in as a pair. Interestingly, both of them were in Palma, one in 2011 and one in 2012, but every other regatta they've entered, they've been on the podium. So again, that will give them confidence. Hannah's first time Games, Saskia's second time, so she brings some experience to the team, and hopefully that will balance out with the excitement, the flair, and the youth and enthusiasm that that is overflowing in Hannah Mills. Sailor of great talent, great natural flair, and they should have a fantastic Games if they can just deal with the excitement and the environment of the Olympic circus.
Nick Dempsey.
Well, Nick Dempsey is racing in the RSX Men, which of course is the most physical of our classes, and those medals will almost certainly be won by the people who are amongst the fittest in the fleet. Nick has the fortunate position of being a past world champion in the RSX, so he knows the venue well. He is performing well at the moment. He knows what he has to do. It's those teeny little details that are going to make the difference for Nick.
Okay, and Bryony?
It's very similar for Bryony in the RSX Women. She finished 4th at this year's World Championships, but we were really pleased with that result because she'd missed 30% of her training in the first quarter of this year due to a recurring illness. And we weren't sure that she was actually going to be able to race in the World Championships. In fact, we ran a fitness test for her on the day of the practice race before confirming that we felt she was fit enough to be able to race, because we didn't want her to be racing if she was really under par, because the fleets are so competitive. She would just get thrashed, and then there's a massive hit to the motivation. There's no point in doing that, and you'd just be further fatigued. So she had a great regatta, just missed out on a medal, but that was a fantastic position to be, bearing in mind the lack of training she'd had running into that event. Again, she is confident that she has made good ground over the last 4 years and is looking to do better than the bronze medal she won in China.
Brilliant. Lucy, Kate and Annie.
Well, Lucy, Kate and Annie are taking part in the match racing event, and the final 12 teams that will be racing in the Games will all be super competitive, and that's probably the hardest of the events to call. If Lucy, Kate and Annie can get into the final 4, anything can happen at that stage. They did win the silver medal at the World Championships in December. There's no doubt that they're amongst the top teams, but in match racing you need to slip up once or twice and suddenly it can change the whole competition because of the knockout aspect that discipline has. So it's probably one of the hardest to call, but yeah, they're in a good place. They're confident and they've got a great track record. First time Games for all of them, but they were really well supported by a very experienced coach, Maurice Cooper, who's worked historically with the Dutch team, now been working with us now for 4 years, and he will bring a huge amount of experience and stability to that group and make sure they're in the best place they possibly can be as we run into the Games.
And Stevie and Ben.
Stevie and Ben, they are returning to the Games for their second time in the 49er. They really felt that they underperformed in China. They have been regular podium performers on the World Cup and World Championship circuits in what is an incredibly competitive class. They will without doubt be one of the sort of top 6 boats, and in that top 6 boats, frankly, anybody could win a medal. But it's a long regatta, 16 races in the 49er, and it will be incredibly competitive. So probably the hardest to call of all the events.
And finally, Alison Young in the laser radial.
Well, Ali Young in the laser radial, I suppose, was, the laser radial over the last couple of years has been considered as the event where we may struggle most. An event where we haven't been as regularly on the podium. In the last sort of 18 months, started to make some ground there, and Ali in the last 6 months has really managed to raise her game. She was 6th at the World Championships in December 2011. She's just come back from the 2012 World Championships where she was 4th, which of course for us looking in shows that she's going in the right direction. As it happens, she was gutted that she didn't win a medal. She was leading the regatta halfway through. She was on the podium all the way through the event. Unfortunately fell foul of the jury in the penultimate race, and then just missed out by a couple of places in the very last race, which was a very light and shifty event, which meant that she was 4th. But there's no doubt that she is now a player.
Yeah.
And again, if she sails well, things go her way, then she too could be in line for a medal, which would be impressive. She's been at World Championship level certainly our most consistent performer since Shirley Robertson was sailing in the Europe in the single-handed women events.
Right.